welcome to Listen in Colour with me, Rachel Walker-Mason. I am returning now to one of my faves, and your faves, Aurora, and this is Lucky.
When I am down, I lay my hands upon this ground, and for the 1,000th time I call him in. His earth is mine. Before I make the offering, remember all the faces that I see, the marks have settled on my skin from all the different places that I've been.
Pause it there a second. Oh, she is just a goddess from another planet, isn't she? Look at her. She's like this ethereal being. Oh, that line, all the marks are settled on my skin, and you look at her and she's got this perfect complexion, like she's been living in a tree or something, and nothing negative has ever touched her. She's just like, oh, just like an angel. What a beautiful song. I love how this opens. I couldn't tell what there was like a drone that started it, a very low drone. I thought it might be low strings, but it's the organ, which is lovely. And it just opened like that. So it kind of sounds a bit like, opens a bit like, and this term always sounds really negative, dirge, which is actually like it means like a funeral kind of song where you've got this very low bass that kind of just plods along and the speed is quite steady. So it's known as a dirge, but we know that, we think of that as a negative thing. Oh, it's a bit of a dirge. But actually that's a specific style of music that's often used in kind of funeral processions. And it starts off like that with that very low kind of bassy note. And then her voice just sits on top of that. It's gorgeous. I love it. It's got this, the way when she uses instruments like that and then sits her voice over the top and her voice has the movement, it really takes you back to kind of folk music from her country and from Ireland and different places like that, where you just have that one note being played and the voice moves around and comes back to it and settles. And I love how she does that. Her tuning is so perfect that you never worry that she's gonna not come back to the same note. She's got all her intervals are just perfection. Doesn't even sound like she's trying to sing in tune. She just can do it. It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And she's just got this simplicity of singing that it's like you can see into her. It's so open and so vulnerable, like a child telling you something that they dreamt about. It's just so pure. And I just love that about Aurora. It's just gorgeous. As ever. I mean, is she ever not fantastic? Right, let's continue. Here's some more of her gorgeous voice and her gorgeous lyrics.
From all the different places that I've been, and I feel the light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive, and I feel
so good. I love that with the choir just coming in so quietly. It's just this supporting sound, supporting texture rather than, hello, we're a choir and we're singing. It's just got this lovely kind of infill that just grows the sound in a really gentle way. Everything always feels very organic with Aurora, no matter whether she's doing, performing at the Royal Albert Hall with electric guitars or singing on her own in a room. Just everything always feels like it's come from somewhere really pure in her. So all the choices that are musically made about, who's going to perform in this, which instruments, they all feel exactly right for the song and for the lyric and for the vocal. I think she really thinks about that. I don't know whether she does her own kind of sound design or has someone else, but I would imagine she has quite a lot of say in the way the songs are performed, because it just feels so authentic. It's so her, and she does things that other people aren't doing. Like a producer might say to her, oh, I think you should put loads of drums in it and put a nice beat and then have a really catchy little riff. I can't imagine her ever saying, yeah, let's do that. She does her own thing exactly how she wants to do it, and it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. You can always count on this beautiful crystal clear voice cutting through the texture, and that's what you get from Aurora, and I love that she just does that so well. What more could you want?
Be alive, my heart, inside my mind, behind my eyes, it's coming down. And for the 1,000th time, I feel too numb to even try.
Wow. Oh, my lyrics here, it says, I feel too numb to even mind. But she said, I feel too numb to even try. Which have very different meanings, actually. That's really interesting. I wonder if someone just miswrote them here. But yeah, well, I was expecting mind, and then she said try. It's interesting. There's some absolutely gorgeous lyrics in this. So we're in Aurora's natural world again. She loves writing about nature and the power of nature and being connected to the earth and how much she loves and respects the earth. She always has that at her core of her writing, which is beautifully grounding. It's so lovely, and she evokes these scenes that just take you into a forest and you're just there in this magical woodland. I love that. But here she's saying some really deep things. It was beautiful. Not anybody knows. Oh, and I feel light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive. What a beautiful line. I've not really heard anything as overtly positive from Aurora. She says beautiful things, but this is really, I mean, in the nicest possible way. You know how the writers of Disney music put these beautiful lines in, and at last I see the light, or those kind of things that are just really beautifully written and have this positive message that kids will hang on to and become their mantra. This has that essence of that. It's so beautiful. It gives you so much hope and light in this. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I've never really read a lyric like that of Aurora's that's so openly, I feel lucky to be alive. It's usually filled with more complex feelings, but this is just, I feel lucky to be alive. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. What an uplifting song. And I love that there's a little drum that's come in here very lightly, just filling out the texture. It's gorgeous. Right, let's see what she does next.
To even try, before I make the offering, remember all the faces that I've seen. The marks have settled on my skin. that I've been, and I feel the light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive, and I feel the light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive.
Working in the music industry is not well paid, as I have told you before. And if you like what I do and would like to support me in any way, then you can buy me a coffee. A link is just here. I always say buy me a tea because I'm British and drink a lot of tea. And that money enables me to make more videos, feed my family, be able to make more music, and actually live a life as a musician without being in poverty. So that would make a huge difference to our lives. It really would. And thank you to everybody who's already done that. So many of you have spent your hard-earned money on supporting me, and that it just means everything that you care that much. It really does. So thank you. If you would like a more regular way to support me, then you can become a member of the Colour Wave crew. We've got a few members now, so we're building, and I can show you all kinds of extra things. You'll have access to videos before anybody else. You can suggest songs for me to react to, and so much more is coming.
I don't know where I am, where I go, where to even begin, when I know what lies behind. It makes no sense in my mind, but I know that it's time to let go. And I feel the light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive, and I feel the light for the very first time. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be alive. I'm lucky to be alive.
Wow, oh my goodness, what a beautiful, really simple song. Got that repeating chorus, which only has 2 lines and they just get repeated, and that is just gorgeous. The vocals coming in with the men singing with those low voices, and then the strings coming in at that point just made me so happy. I love it when there's strings in a song, and the fact that the strings were being used in it rather than just a washy sound. They're being used in a kind of sort of almost not scrubbing, but in a kind of kind of a harder kind of edged way, was so beautiful. It just punctured the texture in a different way than the drum was and the organ, because if it had just been washy strings, everything would have just been like a big soup. But it just having that little cutting just rhythm was just beautiful. Oh, it was just gorgeous. And those lyrics in what I think is the bridge or the middle 8, I don't know where I am or where I'll go, where to even begin, when I know what lies behind makes no sense in my mind, but I know it's time to let go. Now, is she talking about death? Is she talking about moving from one part of life to another part, like when you have to say goodbye to a place you've lived, or a phase of life like leaving school, or a relationship? Like, we don't know what's ahead of us, but we know it's good for us to let go of the thing we've been hanging on to. And that's so beautiful. Like, she's not saying, oh, I have all the answers. And I love that about Aurora. Quite often she just asks a lot of questions. So that's why this song feels different in the chorus, that she's making a statement, I'm lucky to be alive, often it's a lot of questions that makes the listener think, oh yeah, I don't know, how does that make me feel? And this is that middle eight or bridge is so lovely because it really makes me think, gosh, what do I need to let go of? I'm sure there's things I'm hanging on to that I need to let go of, set off like a little boat on a river and just go, off you go. I'm finished with you now. I don't know what's coming in my life, but I need to let go of that to move into the next stage. And I know Aurora talks quite a lot about light and darkness and coming through difficult things and how that feels. So I'm not sure exactly what difficulties she's been through, but we all, as humans, we all go through phases of life, and it is like when we let go of anything, it's like a little grief. It's like we have to say goodbye to something that's been a huge part of us. Even if it wasn't particularly good, it's become part of us. So letting go is really hard, and we might not know the answers about what's ahead, but we need to do that to feel alive. And it's just so beautiful. Not anybody knows that I'm lucky to be alive. That is so beautiful. What a beautifully uplifting song, which I wasn't expecting from Aurora. I'm often challenged and sitting here thinking, yeah, that makes me think. But that is a line that really hits me in a really meaningful way. And she sings it in with this beautiful, clear, childlike voice and her great big eyes, like looking at the camera like this. And it is like a child saying to you, I'm lucky to be alive. You know how kids are just so good at just getting things down to the bare minimum of, I feel happy today, I feel sad. They just cut right to it without all of the chaos of life. And sometimes my kids say, I love being alive. And as grown-ups, we're not very good at saying that because we think about all the things that are going on in the world and what a horrible place it is to live and things. But really, we are lucky to be alive. And it's just, that line is so simple, but it hits really hard, like really hits home. What do you think of it? What do you like it? Is this one of your favourite Auroras, or do you prefer it when she's more kind of mystical and asking the hard questions? What do you think? Because I've got a lot of Aurora fans on here, so please give me your insight. So you might know exactly what she's singing about here, because I definitely don't. So please tell me if you know. It's gorgeous. And colour-wise, I always get that beautiful light kind of cobweb of voice with Aurora. She's just, it's like an angel coming from a different realm and dropping into our world so beautifully. And then it's all very, the whole thing is quite golden actually, like everything just feels very warm. Even before the line about the light, the whole thing just has this beautiful warmth, like a Christmas-bauble, where it just feels warm and held and safe, and just makes me feel very, very warm inside. And I'm seeing all those beautiful colours that just make you feel happy. And I often don't get that. I get more greenish kind of colours with Aurora. So this is quite a different colour for me to get with her. And so that's really exciting. I wasn't expecting that. Please remember to like, subscribe, share and comment. I love reading all your comments. They are fantastic, so keep them coming. And remember to have a colourful day.